Welcome to Providence Soapery 62959. And who are you?
I'm Aunt Sally.
You are?
You're Aunt Sally.
And who are you over there? Buddy?
Buddy?
The soap, tap dancing soap dog. Okay, we're going to start with the soap scrap samples. That's what Aunt Sally is working on. So maybe you have received, and then we're going to move on to liquid glycerin soap if you want to hang out for that. Okay, in the bag, this is a soap sample. What you do is you can either use the bar and work up a good lather by itself, just like you use a regular bar of soap, or when it gets a little smaller, you can put it in the mesh bag. Okay, it's not going to fit this way, so you'll have to wait till it's smaller, or you could break it in half. You use the soap in the bag just like you do regular soap. So you get the whole bag with the soap in it wet, you lather up your hands, and then you use the soap scrap sample. Now, I just went to Fast Print and made my paper. So maybe you have a paper like this, and then on the back, it should, doesn't yet because I haven't done it, tell you what kind of soap that you have. So it is November 19th, 2020, and in our bags we have Grit. In the green we have the Christmas Snow Soap. That's what we've got, okay? And then we have some random things, which are Fruit Looped, lavender, and one remaining. It's either pumpkin spice, pumpkin guts, or it's apple crisp. Now, Aunt Sally, which is your favorite?
I like the new Christmas Snow.
Christmas Snow is your favorite?
Sparkly, it has a nice odor.
Okay.
Very nice.
Now, we have some Christmas Snow bars available, but you will have to comment to order, put it in the comments, or email me, Penny Nelson. Oh, this is not going to work. Okay, we'll come back. We're going to get to the Castile Soap. Penny Nelson at yahoo.com is how you would order the soap because we have limited supplies of soap. So now, that's the first part of the video. The second part of the video is we are making liquid Castile Soap glycerin soap. So let me show you what some of the ingredients are. Okay, we're going to go over this method, and that was the recipe. I'll try to give you a better thing if you are interested in making it. Oh, this is my disclaimer. You are an adult. I am not teaching you everything you need to know. You're going to need to do your own studying. All of this is in my opinion. You need the proper safety gear. This is not a DIY. This is just my opinion, Penny teaching you how to do this. So please, just be responsible and be careful. The biggest thing is lye is dangerous. You need to use the proper safety equipment. Now, after COVID, I just don't feel the same way about lye anymore because we all have to deal with COVID safety and risk assessment. Okay, so this is your disclaimer. You are responsible for you. I'm not responsible for you. Okay, with that, I'll carry on. Okay. Now, in our liquid glycerin soap, this is what you do, in my opinion. You use glycerin instead of your distilled water, okay? And you heat it up to about 200 degrees, okay? I'm going to show you at the end. Aunt Sally, help me remember. It's 208 right now, but that'll be okay. All right? Help me remember to give them a better thing of the recipe.
Okay.
We have a blend of olive oil, pumice, coconut oil, and castor oil, okay? Now, in the liquid glycerin soap, okay, and you're also going to need a temperature, and this scale turns off right in the middle of when I'm using it. That tears it. I'm buying a new one. That tears it. With my money from being an election judge, I'm buying a new scale. Okay, instead of regular lye, which is sodium hydroxide, for this you need KOH flakes, okay? And you're gonna, so I have it ready in here. So I'm gonna set you up. You're gonna, and over here, see, I'm not telling you everything. You see how goofy I am? Over here in my small crock pot, I'm a little concerned it's not big enough. I have the oils I just told you about. And what you need for the end, in case this cuts off and I don't edit, okay? We're not going to do no super fats because that's the way the person who ordered it requested it, Lori Shelley. I'm making it for her. I wish you would focus, but I can't. That's how we're going to make sure that all the lye is dead. It's cooked. And that's you need some of this to do that. Let's see. What else? What are we? Let me show you the recipe so I don't forget. Okay. So what you do is you pause the video, you take a screenshot, and then you can zoom in on the amounts. But you probably would need to get your own recipe, and what I did was go on SoapCal, and you enter in, if I can do it, you can do it. You enter in your numbers, and that's how you get it. So this is your free recipe. And I was going to do half water and half glycerin, and then I changed my mind. So I did all glycerin, so that makes this 174 glycerin. So now you've got your free recipe, and I gave you my penny_nelson@yahoo.com, PENNIE. Oh! So excited. Here is my wax whip. That is my next thing. We're working on candles, and that'll be the next thing I'm working on. Distracted. Okay, so let's go over here and get started over here. We're going to start. So of course for this you will need an immersion stick blender. That's mine over there. Okay, let's get you in the frame. Oh. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our KOH. Let's go ahead and check the temperature again. Put our lid back on our crock pot. The oils are heating up. We're at about 209. And we're going to add this lye. And we're going to stir it in, stir it down. Now the KOH flakes, they're flakes. They're a little different. Now normally I'm just a dumper, but today I'm not. Now how I learned to do this was watching other YouTube videos. I'm probably not smart enough or remember enough to put the links in it, but one of them was from Soaping 101. She's one of my favorite people that I learned from. Soaping 101. She just put a new video with, I think it was 98 colors of soap in a cold process batch. And there was another girl who, I just did a search and did it. And she's the one who did a half water and half, but I chickened out at the last minute. So I'm going to put you on pause and do this because you can imagine what this looks like. And I always get worried about you wasting your time. Oh, and you wouldn't want to splash it on you. You would want to be very, very careful. Very careful. Let's see. Well, I could try to entertain you with something else. Oh, I did want to invite you, if you are a person who's just here for soap making, on Wednesdays is my plan. See how that's mixing in? Isn't that nice? I do a prayer video. So I am a believer and follower of Jesus Christ, Master, Savior. And maybe you'd like to get to know Him. Maybe you'd like to start a relation. Oh, here we go. Because it's not a religion, it's a relationship. So you could join me on Wednesdays. And what I recommend is that you get earphones. We're going to need earphones, won't we, Aunt Sally?
Yes.
For our new thing, we need earbuds. So that we can have privacy when we do our Zoom calls. And you put on your earphones before you're going to bed at night, and you want something to help you fall asleep, and you can listen to my video. And that maybe will help you fall asleep. And we will practice praying together and reading the Bible together, and we will do prayer together. Aunt Sally, what do you think about doing manna?
Well, I enjoy doing it with another person, and I enjoy you in person.
She said
really think it's a good thing.
She enjoys doing manna together with another person. And do you want to share anything about yourself, Aunt Sally?
Well, I'm also a believer in Jesus Christ, my Savior. And
Yes, believer.
I feel that having daily time to be with a partner or be alone and meditate is really helpful.
I don't know if you can hear her all the way over there. She said it's very important to be with a prayer, be with a partner? Well, that's because you always had a prayer partner with your husband. So this is a new thing for you to just have devotion on your own, huh?
Yes.
Yes. Aunt Sally's beloved husband, Joe, passed away on March 16th, right at the beginning of COVID. And he was a believer and a godly man. And tell us about him, Aunt Sally. What did he do?
Well, for me, he did everything.
He did everything.
You know, he
But
brought me
as far as
closer to the Lord, for sure.
he brought you closer to the Lord, for sure.
He was my caregiver.
He was a caregiver.
Through the recent surgery I had, and
You had your hip replaced.
he was a fabulous cook and baker.
But he was a believer, and kind of a different type of believer than you were, because you were raised how?
I was raised as a Lutheran, and dad was a minister, a Pentecostal.
Pentecostal minister. Joe's dad was a Pentecostal minister, and you were raised Lutheran. But how is it that you're raised Lutheran when your mother was? Oh, because your mother was a Christian Scientist.
My mother died when I was 4, and my dad married when I was 8 to a very wonderful woman who was
The original Mumsy. Yes, her birth mother died when she was 4, and she was a Christian Scientist, but she was raised by, what was her first name?
Edna.
Edna. Because her daddy remarried when you were how old?
When I was 8.
When you were 8. And Edna was the original Mumsy. That's where I got the name Mumsy. And you took care of Mumsy, didn't you, in her last part of life?
Yes, for the last 6 years.
The last 6 years? The last 6 years of her life? And then when Mumsy went on to be with the Lord, Aunt Sally was there. So that's part of the reason why it was so important for me to go get my Aunt Sally, because she didn't have any more family left. So I trusted God. He made a way for us. I took an airplane to Portland in June, as soon as it was possible with COVID. And then what did we do, Aunt Sally?
We drove across the country in a U-Haul.
You should. We drove across, and I was thinking,
Middle of storms, and of course, there were some states that didn't have masks at all, and I think they're wishing they had at this point. And a lot of trucks, and Betty did it. We took somebody else's belongings with us, so that helped us with the trip. But it was quite an adventure.
It was quite an adventure. I can't believe we did it. I was thinking about it today. I'm like, I don't know how we did that.
I don't either.
Now there is
the grace of God.
The grace of God. There is a prayer video that we stopped at a hotel that day, and I did my Wednesday prayer. I think we were in Idaho. So if you want to go back and look at that. So now what I'm going to do, this mixture is 248 degrees. And this mixture is 140. So I'm going to put it together, and then I'm going to use my immersion stick blender. Let's just go ahead and do it. So I'll put you on pause while I set it up. One thing I noticed is at some point in time, I turned off the burner. I wonder why I did that. But it still seems to be hot enough. Aunt Sally's going to help me remember, because she always tells me that I should share with you and tell you why I make soap, and I always forget to tell you why. So today I'm going to remember. I learned how to make soap by watching YouTube videos when my son and I were called to go on mission to Haiti. So all of my soap making, it's a way to raise money for missions and missionaries. What else should I say, Aunt Sally? Because I'm distracted. What should I tell them about equipping Haiti and...
Well, even though you couldn't go this year because of the virus.
Because of the virus.
This church is sending a nice package.
We are going to help them to have a Christmas dinner and gifts. The reason why we picked the area that we were in was so that we could have continued relationship, because sharing the gospel with people and changing lives. That's what I wish it was just so easy that you could throw money at something and end poverty. But it turns out that governments are broken, families are broken, people are broken, and the problems in Haiti and everywhere are extremely complex. So it'd be nice if we could just have a magic wand and it was all different, but that's not what it is. Okay, we're going to call that good. So now you take your immersion stick blender, and I think I'm going to have to take a really good close eye on this. And it's going to be loud, and I'm probably not going to edit, so turn down your sound if you don't like it. Is especially with this, you would not want to move away from your crock pot, because if it starts cooking over, it's going to cause a big mess, and it's going to be chemical hot and temperature hot, so we need to watch this really carefully. So you can't leave this alone. I'm a little concerned that I need a bigger pot. That's my water alarm. It's time to drink some water. We're starting about 126 here. The time is 126. And the temperature we have here is, you're not supposed to ignore your water timer, about 156 here. So when it starts cooking a little more, things are really going to start moving. Drink the water. Drink the water. Oh goodness, while ever I did, do you see how that's doing that? We're starting to move here. See that? So now we're going to need to keep cooking it, and I'm going to need to keep stirring it down. See how that did that? And I didn't want you to hear all that buzzing. So that's what we got here. So I'm going to scrape it off. Now one person recommended that I cook this for 90 minutes, and another person said 3 hours. So let's unplug this. Let's not be dangerous here. Chop myself up. Anyways, that's why I'm going to have to use the whatchamacallit, the pea chemical that tells us when the lye is cooked. Do you have any questions about soap making? As if I know anything, but hey, you might as well give it a shot. I have done this one time before, but this is the first time I've done it in several years. I actually was requested by a friend of mine to make this soap. So this is a batch, whatchamacallit, an ordered batch. An ordered batch? I don't know. But anyways, I do that. And I think that if you have a special request, I would do a batch of soap for $33. And that would include $33. We'd have to do negotiations. That's what you do, your negotiations before you actually cut the deal. But the point I'm telling you is that I would be willing to make you a batch of soap to the best of my ability. So if you are interested in having your own smell, or you let me know. Let's bring you back in over here. Okay, so I'm going to put the lid on and set the timer. This is a mess. Timer for 10 minutes. Oh Lord. Gotta push the pause button and I got wet gloves. This is not professional. This is penny-fessional. The other thing you need to know is I may or may not be editing. So there may or may not be all the information that you need to have. How I do my cleanup is I use a towel to wipe the majority of the lye off of there. And then you do your, what was the other thing I was going to tell you? I don't remember. Oh, that's a waste of your time, isn't